that you were sitting in an executive's office for the '94 movie, and they wanted to do a musical with Michael Jackson as the Crow. Is
No,
that true?
that's absolutely true.
Do you know what time it is? Welcome to the Legacy of Nerd. My name is Daniel, and today I am here joined with one of the greats, one of the most awesome people I've ever had the honor of talking to. But we have James O'Barr, creator of The Crow, comic book artist, painter, writer. How are you doing today?
I'm okay.
Good, good. How are you enjoying San Antonio so far?
I like San Antonio. I'm friends with a lot of the Spurs, so
Oh, that's awesome.
they used to come out here. They treat me really well.
Oh,
They were fans, so
that's
I'm
awesome.
not into sports at all, but
Really?
they've been really kind and generous to
Tim Duncan was a big
me.
Crow fan as well, right? Or he is a big Crow fan.
Yeah, yeah. He was one of the first ones I met, and
That's
I
awesome.
didn't, I didn't even know who they were. Or, there's like, we got something special for you when I came for a convention, and I'm like, why are you taking me to a sports arena? But he was super nice. He gave everybody from the convention like box seats, and
That's awesome.
I did that Coca-Cola thing where I went down in the tunnel and I met this 8-foot black guy, and I'm like, this is surreal.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So the Crow, I mean, gosh, man, early '90s. So we're coming up on 30 years, if not, we're past that already. Um,
Well, yeah, 89 was the book,
'89
and
was
the
the book.
movie was 94. So it's, 35, 36 years now.
So I'm one of the ones that actually, and it's probably not age appropriate for me at all, but I read the book before I read the movie because I stole my uncle's book
Yeah,
from from his room. But what do
yeah.
you
Well,
think?
as long as you're a teenager, I think,
I was not a
Yeah.
teenager. I was in like third grade.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that's might
Not
be.
a yeah, but it was one of those things where like it it just like captured my attention. I didn't see the movie until I was like a teenager, so there was no way I
Right.
could get around that. But what do you think it is about The Crow that has resonated with so many people over these years?
Um, yeah, well, I mean, I thought about it a lot because it's still in print. In fact, it's one of the best-selling graphic novels of all time. A million copies, and then it's in like 16 different languages. And
Yeah,
but I think it deals with universal themes about love and loss, and justice, and those things. Every single one of us is going to go through those things.
yeah,
So yeah, originally I thought, well, 94. Now this will last a few years, and then I'll just enjoy my decline. But it's like every 5 or 6 years, it's just like here's a whole another group of goth girls. And you weren't even born when this came out. What? But it like gets handed down from their parents. So
yeah.
yeah, it's
There's been so many different iterations of it as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
So but yeah, it's they're universal themes. Everybody can relate to those.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I think when I was younger,
And it's kind of literate too. I mean, it doesn't talk down to the reader, and it doesn't over explain things. So there's a lot of open segments where you have to fill in things.
yeah,
You put things from your own life in there. So
yeah. I think especially with when I was younger, I was more into the superhero
yeah,
aspect of it, and then when I get older, it was more like the love and loss,
yeah,
and almost sort of not redemption, but definitely vengeance and stuff
yeah,
like that, and trying to make things right as if you could go back and make things right,
yeah.
which I think a lot of people would want in their lives for sure. When you were making, or even now, when you create things, draw things, paint things, what do you think influences your style?
Um, well, I mean, I'm still influenced by other artists and film. You know, um, but I have a very distinctive style, and then set of themes I want to work with. Uh, and but I mean, I don't feel like that's what I do, but that's the things I like, what I'm drawn to. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, it changes from day to day.
Do you?
Music is a really big influence. I don't have a computer streaming or any of that stuff, and I draw 10, 12 hours a day, and I'm always listening to music.
That's all. What do you listen to?
I used to be very myopic and like only listen to punk bands and stuff like that. But now I'll pretty much listen to anything as long as it's honest and truthful. I don't even care if the guy can sing or not. As long as he's being honest, that's something I can relate to.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, what were some of the things that you were reading, or when you were coming up as a kid? Do you remember anything kind of imprinted on your mind with that?
Yeah. Well, I never. Well, we were really poor, so we couldn't even afford comics, my family. And actually, I would save. We got 35 cents a day lunch money when we went to school, and I would save it all week, so I wouldn't eat, so I could go buy comics on Friday. And but I was never into superheroes at all. There was nothing in there I could really relate to. So it was more like the monster
Like
comics,
Tales of the
and
Crypt and stuff like
yeah. Well, not that old.
that. I've read Tales of the Crypt, so that's
Yeah,
why I came to. Yeah.
yeah. No, I'm a big fan of those now, but at that time, but it was more like the magazines, Creepy, Eerie, and
Um,
Vampirella. Those were the ones I was interested in the most. And then some of the Marvel comics where monsters dwell and those kind of things.
oh, okay, cool, cool. Now, you're more known for creating your own characters, creating your own
Yeah,
worlds. And has there ever been like an established character that you've seen or that kind of, I want to work on that? That would
yeah.
be cool to work on.
Well, I mean, there was a long torturous period where I was working on a Batman story for because I think everybody, well, maybe not anymore, but at that time, everybody had, oh, I got a Batman story. Every artist wanted to do one, and I wrote like this 1940s Batman, and kind of retold a lot of the stuff, but it was kind of a James Elroy kind of crime, and every because of what I do, it was like everything was pushed to the extreme, and it was like I would I went to DC and I talked to them, and they saw some of the artwork. The only question they had was when can you start? So I worked on it, for quite a few months, and then the editors changed, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do this with Batman. We're trying to make it family friendly now." And so that went off and on for like 10 years.
Wow.
And the ironic thing is like now is that everything I wanted to do with Batman, they're doing now.
Yeah.
So I was just ahead of the curve, I think. But it was very, I put a lot of effort and time into it, on spec, so I got no money for it, and so it was kind of a bitter experience.
Would you be interested in revisiting that someday?
No, I want to do things that I own,
Yeah.
and I don't really read comics much anymore. I'll follow artists or writers, but there's no comic I have to buy every single week or every month.
No.
Um, so I'm really not even aware. And right now, I think comic books are just subservient to the movies now.
I
It's
could
like
see that. Yeah.
we just need to keep a book out there till we get the next movie out, and I don't think a lot of time and care goes into the artwork or the writing. You
Okay.
know, I don't mean to be judgmental because I haven't really read them, but I'll flip through stuff, and
Well, all the market or the
yeah,
Marvel stuff is
yeah,
more marketability right now and stuff like that.
yeah.
I know.
There is a Batman book out now, by Raphael, Grandpa. Guy, just Batman in Gotham or something, but it's really well drawn, and
Mhm.
he writes it himself too.
That's awesome. Um, so over the years, there have been multiple attempts to redo the Eric Draven uh, story again,
Yeah,
at least theatrically. And what do you think has been the most frustrating thing? I mean, they've been trying to redo this since what, 2004?
15 years now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think has been the most frustrating thing of seeing these projects like lag, and lag?
Yeah, well, I mean, a couple of them. It's just like I met the directors and like worked with them on the script, and I put a lot of effort and time into drawing things and rewriting scripts and stuff, and then at the last minute it falls apart,
Hmm.
and it's like I have nothing to show for that. You know, so it became frustrating to where I don't if you're gonna make a movie, go make it. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Okay.
Go make the best movie you can, but I can't invest any more time and effort into this thing when nothing is going to happen.
Yeah. I think it's really hard, that the '94, Brandon Lee movie is really hard
Yeah,
to
yeah,
redo.
yeah. People love that
Yeah.
character, and you know,
And it's a different
but
character a little
they
bit.
understand though. It's just like even the people that love the first film and they don't want a new one, they understand. They're going to go see it
Yeah.
just so they can have something to bitch about. So
That's true. That's true. I mean, I think I've seen most of the movie. I think I've seen all the movies actually, and
that's more than I've seen.
I mean, and there's ones that stand out more, and obviously the original is the benchmark, and the other ones have their positives and negatives about it. But the Brandon Lee version of it, I think it has a very important feel to a lot of
Yeah,
people, and that's how a lot of people discovered The Crow to
right.
go on and to read the books and read the comics and stuff like that. So I can see why it's been so difficult to you know
Yeah.
redo over the years, and I can see from a creator
Well,
standpoint
and
how
and
it's.
it was when I was working on him, like with the Jason Momoa one, that having to explain to people that it's not, it's just like how many film versions of Dracula are there? There's
Yeah,
like 60 of them,
yeah,
and everybody has their favorite.
yeah,
Bella go see Christopher Lee, Frank, So it's just like it's the same source material, but it's a different way to tell it, and so it was. I spent a lot of time explaining to people that it's not going to take anything away from Brandon's film.
yeah,
This is just a different way to look at it.
yeah. That's awesome. So I wanted to thank you for
Sure.
talking to me today. It's been an honor to meet you. I do have one little question here at the end, but there's a story, or I don't know if it's a rumor or story, if it's true, but that you were sitting in an executive's office for the '94 movie, and they wanted to do a musical with Michael Jackson as the Crow. Is that
No,
true?
that's absolutely true. I was just, um,
And you laughed, is what I
yeah,
heard.
yeah. I thought he was joking, and yeah, it was some of the ideas that those producers throw out there are just incredibly moronic, So
No.
yeah, it was. I just, it's still to this day I'm baffled by them. It's like, did you not read the book? Did you,
I don't think they did. No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can read the book in 2 hours. What don't you understand?
Well, that's crazy to me. So, well, I want to thank you again. I
Sure.
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a great day. Remember, the new iteration of The Crow will be out 2024 this year,
Sometime this year,
sometime
yeah.
this year. And then obviously go support your book, get your Crow comic book, get your stuff, and you'll be here to sign it. So, thank you.
Take care.